Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and a very warm welcome to Government House, Yarralumla. My name is Paul Singer and I'm the Governor-General's Official Secretary. And as this badge signifies with its cross quills, I'm also Secretary of the Order of Australia, whose Council recommends appointments and awards in the Order's General Division to the Governor-General, who is Chancellor of the Order of Australia and Principal Knight of the Order. I'm also Secretary to the Australian Bravery Decorations Council, the body which makes recommendations to the Governor-General for bravery awards. I'd like to particularly acknowledge among our distinguished guests here this afternoon, Senator David Smith, representing the Leader of the Opposition, Air Vice Marshal Stephen Meredith, representing the Chief of Defence Force, Rear Admiral Mark Hammond, representing the Chief of Navy, Brigadier Simon Johnston, representing the Chief of Army, Dr Martin Hess, National President of the Bravery Institute of Australia, Mr Peter White, representing the President of the Australian Bravery Association, Ms Mary Wiley-Smith, representing a Commissioner of the Australian Public Service Commission, and Mr Howard Wren, representing a Commissioner of the ACT Emergency Services Agency. Ladies and gentlemen, the Australian Honours System provides a wonderful mechanism through which we as a nation can recognise and celebrate ordinary people who do extraordinary things. Since its inception in 1975, almost 400,000 people have been awarded and recognised for their meritorious bravery, military or national service. The Order of Australia is the principal means of recognising outstanding service, and it's important to note that nominations come from all areas of the community. Anyone can and in fact is encouraged to nominate. Today is a special day, not only for the recipients, but also for their families, friends and communities. It is a day when we celebrate a diverse range of impressive achievements and service. As staff at Government House, my colleagues and I are privileged to play a small part in the recognition and celebration of that achievement. I hope we can help make today an occasion that you'll all recall with pride for a long time to come. Shortly, I'll invite you to stand as Their Excellencies the Governor-General and Lady Cosgrove enter the room. Please then remain standing for the singing of the National Anthem. You're encouraged to join in and the words are in the program on page 3. The investiture will then begin and proceed in the order listed in your programs. After I read their names and citations, the recipients will enter the room from the doorway on my right, and after they've been invested, they'll leave by the centre aisle to take their seats at the back of the room. At this point, you may like to show your appreciation with a short applause as each recipient leaves the room. At the conclusion of the investiture ceremony, the Governor-General will say a few words. He'll then leave the room and I'll invite recipients to join him and Lady Cosgrove in a formal photograph at the state entrance of Government House. To assist recipients in making their way to the state entrance, could I please invite all remaining guests just to stay here in the drawing room until such times as the recipients have left. Following the formal photograph, Their Excellencies and recipients will then join you for a refreshment in the dining room. So, ladies and gentlemen, please relax and enjoy this very special occasion. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of Her Excellencies, the Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia and Lady Cosgrove. Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and wealth at all. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, at every stage, advance Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia fair. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Your Excellency, to be presented with the insignia of her appointment as a companion in the General Division, Dr. Elizabeth Dennis. For eminent service to science as a researcher and academic in the area of genomics and plant development and to professional organisations. Dr. Dennis has played a prominent role in Australian science. Her career as a researcher and plant biologist has spanned 45 years and has produced significant advancements in our understanding of plant genetics. Her work into controlled flowering, hybrid vigour and hybrid mimics has made an enormous contribution to the development of agricultural science on a global scale. She's also demonstrated unbridled enthusiasm in her mentoring and support for peers and aspiring scientists from Australia and abroad. Dr. Dennis is a pioneer, an innovator and an outstanding role model to future generations of scientists. Dr. Elizabeth Dennis appointed a companion of the Order.
You've been the Chief Research Scientist in the Plant Division of the CSIRO since 91 till 2014. I think you've received 6 prestigious awards from overseas, and you are just a superlative example of a brilliant scientist who happens to be Australian, and today you're recognised with the nation's highest award. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. I think.
Appointed a companion in the General Division, the Honourable Justice Michelle Gordon, for eminent service to the judiciary and to the law, to legal education and judicial administration, as a role model and to the community. Justice Gordon has shown herself to be a highly diligent, supportive and passionate trailblazer throughout her distinguished judicial and legal career. She's initiated several professional mentoring programs for Indigenous lawyers and law students, as well as generating improvements to pro bono legal aid schemes for the disadvantaged. As a leader in Australia's most prominent courts, she's demonstrated exemplary skills and expertise and has remained a true role model to women in law. Justice Gordon's high level of achievement and generosity of spirit are inspirational and worthy of our nation's highest recognition. The Honourable Justice Michelle Gordon appointed a companion of the Order.
Now, Your Honour, not only are you on the highest court of the land, one of the most eminent jurists in the nation by definition, and you've been there since 2015. I think you were in the federal court for quite a while, and before that you went to the bar in Victoria in about 92 or something of that nature. And then, but you also had 6 very important roles at University of Melbourne, I think. And the other thing I noted, you're a patron of the arts and Indigenous advancement. But you're also patron of a surf lifesaving club, is that right? Can we
We all have our skills.
We all have our skills. Well, there you are. High Court Judge and the surf lifesaving movement. They go well together. Congratulations. And well.
Appointed a companion in the General Division, the late Emeritus Professor Patrick Troy, to be accepted by his partner, Ms Sandra Mackenzie. For eminent service to urban and regional planning, to environmental sustainability and social justice policy, and as a mentor and role model. Professor Troy's work in the public sector and academia showcased an extraordinary sense of determination, productivity and integrity. Throughout his long and illustrious career, he was well ahead of his time, demonstrating the foresight to envision the future of Australian cities and the ability and passion to advance progressive notions of urban planning and policy. His high-level expertise was in constant demand with government and industry alike, while his academic leadership has been cherished by institutions across Australia. Professor Troy's work has been pivotal in the advancement of urban and regional planning and has paved the way for our future policy makers. Ms Sandra McKenzie accepts the award of Companion of the Order of Australia on behalf of the late Professor Patrick Troy.
Open the box a little. There we go. And could you hold that so it can be seen? There we go. I'll close it up for you so it doesn't fall out on the way. Just come around here. You're sort of speaking for the late Professor Troy, and he was made AO, I think, in 1989, I mean, a long while ago. But he's an absolute doyen in Australia of urban planning, and I think his role at the ANU was magnificent, and he's assisted other Australian and overseas institutions in the matter of urban planning. So this late recognition is nonetheless acknowledging a wonderful life spent in service of the community. Thank you for receiving it on his behalf today.
Appointed a companion in the General Division, Ms Helen Williams. For eminent service to public administration through senior advisory roles and to policy reform and innovative program delivery. Ms Williams has provided outstanding executive leadership within the public sector and is an encouraging role model for women in government. The first woman appointed as Secretary of a Commonwealth Department, she expertly steered complex government organisations to produce innovative policy and program outcomes for over 2 decades. Her tireless contributions in private and public sector advisory roles are unparalleled and describe an unwavering path towards progress. Ms Williams is an outstanding representative of the nation's public sector, an aspirational icon for those in leadership. The nation is indebted to her. Ms Helen Williams appointed a Companion of the Order.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Now, you were an AO a while ago, and here you are with the nation's top award, but you weren't just a trailblazer as the first woman to head up a department, but you have 4 separate departments and as Secretary, and you're also a Public Service Commissioner, 98 to 02 or something like that. And you'd been a member and director, I think, of 17 other entities, companies, etc., including the Bell Shakespeare Company. That was 2010 till 2018. Fantastic. Are you still active?
I'm still active.
Yeah,
but not in Bell Shakespeare.
Okay. All right. They didn't have any more parts for you.
No.
No.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Appointed an officer in the General Division, Ms Kathryn Campbell. For distinguished service to public administration through senior roles with government departments and to the Australian Army Reserve. Ms Campbell has exhibited exceptional leadership across the public sector and the Australian Army Reserve. She successfully championed the integration of health and welfare agencies into the Department of Human Services, allowing the government to better administer social welfare, health and support services to all Australians. Additionally, she maintained her devotion to the Australian Defence Force, serving as the Army's first female Reserve Brigade Commander and spearheading initiatives to mentor fellow female reservists. Ms Campbell has demonstrated an enduring dedication to the welfare of this country. Ms Kathryn Campbell appointed an Officer of the Order.
Welcome. So you're following in the footsteps of Helen Williams. What a great role model for all women in the public service. But you yourself been a Deputy Secretary in Finance and Education, and I think you've been the permanent, or the, I was going to say permanent head, nobody's permanent anymore, head of Department of Social and Human Services, a name change in there. But the thing that you're doing is not only being a superb public servant, but you've achieved very high rank in the military. Aren't you the commander of the 2nd Division?
I am, sir.
2nd Division, which is a division that goes back to World War I. First time a woman's been the general officer commanding that division. Magnificent. We're so proud of you. Well done.
Thank you.
Appointed a member in the General Division, Ms Robin Clubb, for significant service to primary industry, to agricultural societies and to the community. Ms Clubb's extensive insight into Australia's agricultural industry has seen her guide a range of institutions and advisory panels. Her contributions include chairing the New South Wales Rice Marketing Board and the Australian Wool Exchange, while serving as the first woman on the board of the Royal Agricultural Society of New South Wales. Ms Clubb's inspiring efforts have also extended to her local community of Braidwood, where she continues to support pathways to higher education. Ms Robin Clubb appointed a member of the Order.
Now, you've been in the RAS for a while, but I think you went on to the council a while ago, didn't you? The council of the RAS.
Yes.
And you've been involved in all these other roles in the Royal Agricultural Society. But in addition to that, you have played a mighty role in education. The Braidwood Education Foundation, that's what you're particularly involved with. You are such an example of a community member who just uses boundless energy for the help of others. Well done. Congratulations.
Appointed a member in the General Division, Mrs Christine Ferguson, for significant service to the community of Gundagai, to local government and to Parliament and politics in New South Wales. Mrs Ferguson has been a stalwart of the National Party of Australia and her community in regional New South Wales. She has served the party since 1975, including roles managing local, state and federal offices. Mrs Ferguson has also maintained a distinct loyalty to the people of Gundagai and the Riverina as a local government representative and dynamic figure within her community. Mrs Christine Ferguson appointed a member of the Order.
G'day, how are you? Good afternoon.
Thank you.
You were on the Cootamundra Gundagai Council for a long time, and you were administrator of one of the council areas in the 15, 16, round about then. Yeah. That must have been a tough job, and for reasons generally out of the blue that come upon you. But it's the National Party involvement which is really impressive. 1975 you joined, but weren't you the federal president for a while? And chairman and vice chairman in New South Wales? So we can understand that apart from what you would do in your professional life, your great zeal for politics the National way has had you with hardly any spare time, but you coped marvellously. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All the best.
Appointed a member in the General Division, Mr Roderick Parker, for significant service to community music through pipe and drum bands. Mr Parker has been influential in shaping Australian pipe and drum ensembles and supporting valued musical traditions. His passion as a performer, promoter and mentor has helped to instil a love of music in students and audiences of all ages. Mr Parker has for years shared his expertise and generosity across the country and the world, and today he has earned the nation's applause. Mr Roderick Parker appointed a member of the Order.
G'day. Now, back here. I thought you'd be wearing a kilt today, not to be. It's a lovely suit. Mr Parker might have been at what they call it, it's Bundanoon, but it's called Brigadier. They changed the name to Brigadier for the Highland Gathering, which was last weekend. He's the pipe major of the Bateman's Bay Soldiers Club Pipes and Drums. He is a teacher to 7 or so regional pipes and drums. And I think in the Highland Pipes and Drums Association of Australia, I guess that is, you've been made a life member. I wish you'd have brought the bagpipes. Congratulations.
Appointed a member in the General Division, Dr David Stevens, for significant service to Australian naval history as a researcher and author. Dr. Stevens is a naval historian held in the highest regard by researchers and observers alike. Following a successful career in the Royal Australian Navy, he took it upon himself to promote Australia's rich naval history in academia, policy and the public realm. Dr. Stevens is worthy of recognition as somebody who has worked tirelessly to document and preserve authoritative, comprehensive and accurate accounts of Australia's military operations. Dr. David Stevens, appointed a member of the Order.
Congratulations. Now, David, you had 20 years of eminent service in the Navy, and then I think after that you went to the Naval Reserve and got to the rank of Commander. You are the most eminent of our modern naval historians, that's without doubt. There may be others here who are jealous, but there we go. You've had more than 10 very significant publications. Do you think was your most significant of those publications? Authored or co-authored?
The Australian Navy Model 1.
That's good, fantastic, great history. Except didn't the Her Majesty's ship New Zealand knock the HMAS Australia out of the Battle of Jutland?
It did.
It did, it's very sad. Right. All the best.
Appointed a member in the Military Division, Brigadier David Wainwright, for exceptional service in the appointments of Director General Special Operations Capability, Chief of Operations Headquarters Resolute Support, Operation High Road, and Director General Future Land Warfare Branch, Army Headquarters. Brigadier Wainwright has upheld the finest traditions of the Australian Defence Force in a range of offices. His impeccable foresight and devoted service in Australia and abroad has helped positively influence the Army's preparedness and decision-making processes. Brigadier Wainwright's mentorship and ability to coordinate Foreign Security Force personnel has also left an enduring legacy on foreign shores. Brigadier David Wainwright, appointed a member of the Order.
Now, you received the Distinguished Service Cross for your command of the Reconstruction Task Force. Was that 09? 07, 08. And you've had tours of duty in East Timor, Iraq, and 2 in Afghanistan? 2 in Afghanistan. There's a lot of service folk appearing today who are showing the depth of the ADF's operational service and experience in these troublesome days. You've led them into the room today. You've performed magnificently and rightly rewarded. Congratulations.
Appointed a member in the Military Division, Air Commodore Gregory Hoffman, for exceptional service in aerospace acquisition and sustainment for the Australian Defence Force. Air Commodore Hoffman has proven an exceptional manager of defence capabilities through his contributions to the acquisition and maintenance of major aerospace systems. His wisdom and talent as an engineer generated a number of benefits in early warning and control sustainment, pilot training systems, and air combat capability program development. Air Commodore Hoffman's efforts have made a positive impact that will last decades. Air Commodore Gregory Hoffman, appointed a member of the Order.
Now, you were given a CSC in 2014, and that's now this is a bit of a follow-up here. This gentleman was in charge of our airborne early warning aircraft program, the most magnificent new capability, which is the envy of all similar air forces. It is a wonderful system. Performs in the skies over in the Middle East and does a magnificent job. Then you reformed aircrew development and training, and now you're in charge of you're the director of the management oversight of the combat aerospace systems, particularly the Super Hornet and the Growler. They're in your bailiwick. Others are other capabilities as well. So it's a gentleman who is at the pivotal edge of the modernisation of the Royal Australian Air Force, making our Air Force second to none for those of its size. Well done, keep it up.
Thank you very much. Awarded the medal in the General Division, Mr Leslie Arnold, for service to veterans and their families. Mr Arnold has given decades of support to ex-service organisations on the New South Wales South Coast. His enthusiastic administration of local legacy and returned and services leagues groups has seen them continue to grow and prosper while providing support to their members and the wider community. Mr Arnold sets an inspiring example for us all. Mr Leslie Arnold awarded the Medal of the Order.
Good afternoon. Now, come around here. You probably know Pipe Major Parker, do you? I can have a drink later. He didn't bring his bagpipes. You might have to make bagpipe noises for him.
No, thanks.
How long have you been in the RSL?
Well, I've been in the RSL since well into the 80s.
Yep.
But mainly with the Bateman's Bay one, I've been
Soldiers Club.
12 years.
Yep. And what about Legacy?
Legacy, I was started in 84, but concentrated when I moved to Bateman's Bay in 2000.
A man whose second half of his life has been spent in the service of veterans and the dependents, the widows of veterans. Well done, mate.
Thank you, sir.
Awarded the medal in the General Division, Mr Stephen Cooper, for service to snow sports. Mr Cooper has been instrumental in coordinating New South Wales school-based snow sports programs for many years. His abilities to support and encourage youth to learn and develop their talents as winter sport athletes is remarkable and has had a profound impact on many young lives. Mr Cooper has established a reputation as a wonderful role model and advocate for sports. Mr Stephen Cooper awarded the Medal of the Order.
Good afternoon. No, this first. Oh, now we're in good shape. Congratulations. Been a teacher since in the 80s.
Yes.
And in 2018, probably retired. Just retired?
Just retired.
So you were a leading teacher and relieving principal at Jindabyne Central School for quite a while. But it's your snowboarding exploits and passion. You obviously do snowboarding for youngsters, yep. Snowboarding generally for New South Wales, and you're on the national body for ski and snowboard sports, and you're chair of the participation committee. Yep. Okay, you ski?
I ski, oh, yes. I don't snowboard now, I ski.
Yeah, we're relieved. Yeah, look, there's people, you drive that sport, you allow our youngsters and all ages to enjoy snow sports, so well done. Congratulations.
Awarded the medal in the General Division, Mrs Amanda Curtis, for service to the community through charitable initiatives. Mrs Curtis has shown great initiative and consideration in her valiant efforts to raise funds for charities and medical research. Driven by compassion, ingenuity and generosity, she's continued to host unique fundraising events, including a biennial music festival on her rural property, with all proceeds destined to support children with cancer. Mrs Curtis deserves our deepest gratitude. Mrs Amanda Curtis awarded the Medal of the Order.
Good afternoon, how are you? Thank you. Okay. Now, people here may know, but you don't mind if I say you lost your darling daughter Erin to leukemia, acute leukemia, in 05. And is it, do I say it right, NASTOC?
Yes.
NASTOC, which is a festival you run every 2 years, and it's NASTOC IEM in Erin's memory.
That is correct, yes.
Every couple of years you do that, and it's to raise funds for research into acute leukemia.
It's into children's cancer and blood disorders.
And that's your other passion too, children's cancer in the Broad.
That's right, yes.
Well, you can see why you've been recognised. We're very proud of you. Please keep it up.
Thank you.
Awarded the medal in the General Division, Mr Peter Freeman, for service to architecture. Mr Freeman has been at the forefront of architectural conservation projects throughout Australia since the 1970s. His influence can be seen in heritage buildings and infrastructure across New South Wales, the Australian Capital Territory and Tasmania. Mr Freeman's work as an author is also well known and highly regarded among architectural historians and combines to reveal a lifetime of considerable achievements. Mr Peter Freeman awarded the Medal of the Order.
Good afternoon. There we go, all connected. Now you authored or co-authored, no, around here, this is good. That's my bad side. You authored or co-authored 4 important publications on heritage buildings in Australia, and they are out there. Any more than that, or is it 4?
16.
16, well, it's the 4, that the best 4 I'm talking about. But your work on heritage building, particularly in Tasmania, there was Maria Wharf, but down there was the UTAS building, Theatre Royal.
Yes. Theatre Royal and Hedberg.
And there was the wharf. That's Maria Quarry, isn't it, the other one?
No, the Maria project was about the town itself and a little building that we restored.
Right, yeah.
And the last one was the Hobart City Council's...
that's it.
People.
Domain House.
No.
What's Domain House?
Domain House started out as the High School of Hobart Town.
Oh, okay.
It was a private venture.
Righto. And here, Tilapia Park School and Manning House.
Oh, lots.
Yeah.
Lots
here. Those 2 are headlines. Are you still busy?
I seem to be, yes.
Well done. Please keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Awarded the medal in the General Division, Mr Kevin Granger, for service to the community of Queanbeyan. Mr Granger has made a remarkable contribution to the community activities and groups in the Queanbeyan region. Whether presiding over Rotary Club matters, the Queanbeyan Children's Special Needs Group or regional health advisory boards, he has selflessly devoted himself to the best interests of his fellow citizens. Mr Granger is a shining light within our neighbouring district. Mr Kevin Granger awarded the Medal of the Order.
I'll get you to just stand there. Don't come around too far because we'll minimise the movement for you. Can you just wait there while we have a photo? There we go. Now just face them. They want to see you. This is the intimidating part. You good there?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, right. Queanbeyan Citizen of the Year in 2011. Also been in Rotary forever. Queanbeyan and Queanbeyan West?
Queanbeyan West.
It's Queanbeyan West.
Don't get us mixed up with the other mob.
Well, no. That'll be worth a fine, wouldn't it? Yeah, oh, okay. And this project of yours, you're a founding member of directing towards the schooling of special needs kiddies, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
Well, we set out, it was founded initially by a lady who had a Down syndrome child born, and there were no services in Queanbeyan.
Now there are.
So a few got together and we formed a Children's Special Needs Group, and we now have the Treehouse, which is a centre of excellence for special needs kids in the region.
Yep.
And we also have a new hospital, which I spent a lot of time working on.
No wonder you've been recognised. Well done.
Thank you.
Awarded the medal in the General Division, Mrs Sue Cominac, for service to education and to the community of Gundaroo. Mrs Cominac has played a crucial role in shaping the futures of young people within the Gundaroo community. Her work as an educator and educational leader is highly respected throughout the region, while her contributions to the local fire service, church and other advisory roles demonstrate a tangible affection for her town. Mrs Cominac is a great inspiration to her area. Mrs Sue Cominac awarded the Medal of the Order.
There we go. Congratulations, huh? There Now, this is a spotlight on you. I feel like one of those quiz masters here. Now, you were at the Gundaroo School for a very long time, including being a principal towards the end, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And then we heard a little bit about that, but they didn't mention the North Canberra softball, is that right? Is that you?
Yes,
Yeah.
Central Canberra, yeah.
And what wasn't on that bio, it was very important, you were a volunteer teacher in the Cook Islands, weren't you?
Yes.
Well done.
Australian.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Awarded the medal in the General Division, Mrs Katherine Lawler, for service to conservation and the environment. Mrs Lawler has an unyielding passion for horse riding and preserving the heritage of the Moruya region. Through her expansive knowledge of a town's old bridle trails and surrounding bushland, she has played a significant role in guaranteeing its historical tracks are accessible to current and future riders alike. Mrs Lawler commands respect among her community as a practical and reliable source of wisdom and insight into the area's past. Mrs Kathryn Lawler awarded the Medal of the Order.
Good afternoon, how are you? Good. Yeah. Now you're one of the pioneering families still on the land there at Kadji, did I say that right?
Yes,
Kadji,
you
that's
did.
the name of the property. And your passion, as we heard, is these riding trails. You would love to see them restored and made available and mapped and people using them.
So the tracks, not trails.
Trails.
They're tracks.
They're tracks, righto, like the Kokoda track and the Kokoda trail. Which one do you prefer?
Track.
There we are. There we are. Track. Now, it's a wonderful thing, and you've been working in Eurobodalla and in your area for such a long time, and you're very well known, and your communities recognise you today. Well done.
Very good.
Awarded the medal in the General Division, Ms June McPhee, for service to the law. Ms McPhee has made a progressive impact on the professional legal organisations. Her expert governance of the Law Society of New South Wales and Law Council of Australia resulted in regulatory and constitutional reform to improve industry engagement and representation. Ms McPhee has also shown a broad interest in the development of her profession, particularly through astute leadership of the College of Law. Ms June McPhee awarded the Medal of the Order.
Good afternoon. Just make sure. Yep, that's good. So you were a member of the Law Council of New South Wales, went up to be the president? Is that what we call it? President of
Not
the...
of Law Council,
Yeah.
of Law Society.
Law Society,
But an
sorry.
executive member of Law Council.
Yep. But you've been a solicitor in Cooma since 91.
That's correct.
Still practising there?
No,
Yeah. Fully retired? Were you living in
not
Cooma?
fully retired.
Yeah.
But
What are you doing, sort of pro bono stuff where you can?
no, I'm a cost assessor with the Supreme Court of New South Wales.
Cost assessor for the Supreme... Anybody got a case in? This is a lady to talk to.
And also on the Veterans Review Tribunal.
Now that's important. Veterans Review Tribunal, thank you very much. Your community says thank you for your
Thanks,
work.
sir.
All the best.
Awarded the medal in the General Division, Ms Glenys Potami, for service to the community of Tuggeranong. Ms Potami is an incredibly active and supportive volunteer. She continues to show great initiative in overseeing the Tuggeranong Community Council, is an integral part of the Southern ACT catchment group, and is a fervent environmental conservationist. Ms Potami displays an admirable appreciation for her community and its surrounds, and is worthy of our thanks. Ms Glenys Potami awarded the Medal of the Order.
Good afternoon. Thanks, just face me there. Good.
Yes. Expert by now.
So you were a founding member, the founder of Lanyon High School, one of the founders of Lanyon High School?
Yeah, executive teacher, one of the founding years.
Yeah, and then you started the Lanyon High School Land Care program.
That's right. And we won four ACT national awards.
It's all mounting up. Now we're understanding why this has all occurred. But you also, on Land Care, helped found Land Care ACT?
I'm on the board of that, the founding member of that too.
I think the land's in good shape with you there. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Awarded the medal in the General Division, Mr Francis Seaman, for service to the community of Crookwell. Mr Seaman has volunteered countless hours to aid the people of his local district. He has made a mark on dozens of community organisations ranging from Meals on Wheels to Legacy and the Church, and has never once showed signs of slowing down. Mr Seaman is a noble example of someone giving back to the community. Mr Francis Seaman awarded the Medal of the Order.
Stand on there. Just come towards me a bit. Face me, thank you. There we go. Now we can turn this way. Good show. You mind standing here for a tick? You're just one of these folks. I read your bio. It's about this long, and it's got just about everything you should do, could do in Crookwell. You've been doing it, but you're a coach and I think on the committee of the famous Crookwell Green Devils.
Yes.
That's the rugby league team.
Rugby league team.
How'd they go against the Queanbeyan Blues on the weekend?
You didn't need to ask.
Yeah, forget I asked. It was ugly. But they're up against the North Canberra Bears this Saturday. How are they going to go?
I beat you North Canberra.
Are they going to beat... Well, you've got it here. Put it on centre bet. But we jest about this. You're wearing a legacy tie. This is the sign of a gentleman who's an all-rounder and devotes all of his available time to his community. Go the Green Devils. Well done.
Awarded the medal in the General Division, Mrs Lila S Searle, for service to domestic horticulture and to the community. Mrs Searle has accumulated a lifetime of expertise in gardening and floral art, which she shares with her local community. Whether it is through media, regional festivals or gardening clubs, she displays an infectious enthusiasm to help others to build an appreciation for the natural environment and to cultivate their own horticultural paradise. Mrs Searle has thoroughly earned our thanks. Mrs Lila S Searle awarded the Medal of the Order.
Now you know your approach. Just stand there on the X. Yeah. How are you? You well? Oh, good. Yep, attached. There we go. Now you were the Bega Valley Citizen of the Year a couple of years ago.
That's what it was, yes.
Yeah, but it's been garden centres all the way through, and you owned your own garden centre for quite a long time.
Yes, about 16 years.
And garden clubs.
Yes, garden clubs.
You didn't own them, but you were part of them, formed them and all the rest.
Yes.
And you're a broadcaster. Are you still a broadcaster?
I'm still a broadcaster.
For ABC South East since 1988?
Yes, since 1988.
And you have
Talkback.
is it like a weekly stint?
Yes, it's a weekly session for gardening talkback, and I answer people's questions on gardens.
Yep, okay.
Which I enjoy very much.
Okay, we'll phone in on the weekend. Well done.
I'll tell you that, you Roses.
Thank you very much.
Awarded the medal in the General Division, Mrs Jennifer Starr, for service to education. Mrs Starr has made it her duty to improve the education of underprivileged children in India, Afghanistan and Burma. Her commitment to promoting quality education has generated sponsorship programs, government negotiations, the building of classroom facilities and the professional development of teachers overseas. Mrs Starr has delivered a great benefit to international education and Australia's global relations. Mrs Jennifer Starr awarded the Medal of the Order.
Hello there, how are you? Good size. Now, if you wouldn't mind just standing, I'm going to stand arm's length away. You'll know in a minute why. No, just stand still. This lady has been a key figure in TARA, which is educational outreach to India, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, huge population of underprivileged kids needing education, and through her fundraising and the application of those funds, over 17,500 youngsters in those areas, those nations, have had a start on their education. That's magnificent. We thank you for that. She's had over 10 prestigious awards. I won't try to enumerate them, but you can see this lady is quite young. And why I'm standing a little bit further away from her is she's a judo champion. And she became 7th in the World University Games, is that right? And you were in Australian Judo 05 to 2011 or something like that. And therefore she's pretty good. So all conversations with her later should be very courteous. Well done. Congratulations.
Awarded the Medal in the Military Division, Captain Mark McConnell, for meritorious service to personnel management and shaping future people capability within the Royal Australian Navy. Captain McConnell has had a resounding positive influence on the Royal Australian Navy's capability through his dedication and attentive individual approach to managing Navy personnel. His leadership, communication skills and strong people focus have enabled him to introduce and apply progressive management systems that empower Navy people to build resilience and surmount personal challenges. Captain McConnell is a great example of our Navy's most valuable assets. Captain Mark McConnell awarded the Medal of the Order.
Hi Mark, how are you?
Your Excellency, I'm well.
Come around here. Welcome back. This man used to work here, managed the house for us for years and years and years, and did a fantastic job. Back into the Navy, the mainstream Navy. You joined the Navy 77?
Yes.
86, have spent a year aboard the Royal Yacht Britannia, and that obviously gave you some of the insights that enabled you to operate one of the vice-regal establishments and did, as I said, a fantastic job. But it's your command of the Personnel Support Unit,
Yes.
which manages sailors, all of whom are, for whatever reason, not in the mainstream at that time. And it's, I think, 7,800 sailors in your relatively brief time, a couple of years, in the job, that have been managed in an extraordinary way, with great compassion and attention to their individual cases. 781 or so, some figure like that, are the sailors who, because of whatever happened, have to leave the Navy. And their management out has been extraordinarily advanced in terms of perhaps how it might have been done generations ago. So I've got the right man doing that particularly sensitive job. I congratulate you, Mark. Welcome back, and congratulations on the rank.
Thank you very much.
All the best.
Awarded the Medal in the Military Division, Warrant Officer Class 1 Trent Morris, for meritorious service as Regimental Sergeant Major of the 2nd 17th Battalion, Royal New South Wales Regiment, and the 2nd Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment. Warrant Officer Morris demonstrated meritorious direction and compassion in leading significant structural changes. He was instrumental in developing the relationship between the 2nd Battalion and Her Majesty's Australian ships Canberra, Adelaide and Choules. Warrant Officer Morris's allegiance to the unit, its soldiers and its capability had a lasting effect on the development of the Australian Defence Force's amphibious capability. Warrant Officer Class 1 Trent Morris awarded the Medal of the Order.
Just stand there. Good on you. I'll say that to start with you. You came out with such a cheery face. There we go. Well done. Thank you, sir. Here we go. Well, all RSMs, as we know, are demigods, but you being recognised here today acknowledges the extraordinary pressure on the infantry units of the Army to role specialise in a way which meets that impossibly high standard we set from. As RSM of this, is it 2nd Battalion? Yes, sir. 2nd Battalion of the Royal Australian Regiment, who are leading the charge for Army with our brand new Royal Australian Navy amphibious ships. So this is a huge learning curve for the battalion. They've been away on exercise and in every case have returned not only to the praise of our own Navy, which is lovely, but the admiration and praise of our international partners like the US Marines. So RSM, well done. Congratulations.
We move now to the Distinguished Service Decorations. Awarded the Distinguished Service Cross, Lieutenant General John Freeman, for distinguished command and leadership in warlike operations as the Commander Joint Task Force 633 on Operations Okra and High Road from January 2017 to January 2018. General Freeman demonstrated outstanding commitment and judgment in leading Australia's contribution to operations in Iraq, Afghanistan and more broadly throughout the Middle East region. His exceptional operational oversight, critical leadership engagement and tireless efforts ensured the remarkable effectiveness of Australia's military operations and greatly enhanced the international reputation of the Australian Defence Force. Lieutenant General John Freeman awarded the Distinguished Service Cross.
I've known General Freeman for quite a while. I saw him in action as the commander of our entire force in the Middle East. He hosted me for a Governor General's visit. I'm a pretty fair judge of military leaders, and he did a very excellent job, superb job, remembering that not only was he responsible for the actions as National Commander of our troops in Iraq and Afghanistan, but our air effort over there, which was extraordinarily complex. He was lucky to be supported by some magnificent Air Force senior officers there, but he carried the can, and of course he even had responsibility for the effectiveness of what we were doing with our Navy assets over there, which was again the most complex. Simply a superb performance. I digress one moment to say I spotted this gentleman when he was Lieutenant Colonel commanding his battalion in 2003, sent him off to the Solomon Islands to lead the military component of our assistance efforts there, a multinational military component. He was wearing Lieutenant Colonel's rank, and I said, don't let me down, because every Colonel and Brigadier in the Australian Army wanted the job. He didn't let me down. He is a superb commander. Congratulations.
Awarded the Distinguished Service Medal, Colonel Michael Murdock, for distinguished leadership in warlike operations as the Commander of the Kabul Garrison Command Advisory Team and Senior Mentor to the Kabul Garrison Commander from October 2016 to June 2017. Colonel Murdock displayed exemplary leadership, commitment and energy in directing a multidisciplinary team to train, advise and assist the Commander and staff of the Kabul Garrison Command in Afghanistan. His efforts significantly improved the Garrison Command's ability to coordinate the functions of more than 25,000 soldiers, policemen and intelligence personnel working throughout Kabul City and the surrounding province. Colonel Michael Murdock awarded the Distinguished Service Medal.
Good to see you again. Now, when you got there, you found that there were a large number of troops, 25,000 Army, Police, Special Forces type people, all to do with the defence of Kabul. But it was not joined up, it was very stovepiped, and you stood up a Joint Operations Command and got them to talk through, I think you called it a security shura, like a traditional term for a meeting. Got them on the same page, got them organised, got them to take responsibility for talking to one another and the efforts of their people. And near the end of your time, and I think March 2017, there was a huge attack in Kabul. And the response, which was robust and effective and neutralised the people who were attempting this huge attack, was proof of the pudding. You well and truly deserve that Distinguished Service Medal. Congratulations.
Awarded the Commendation for Distinguished Service, Major David Reddy, for distinguished performance of duties in warlike operations as Officer Commanding Intelligence, Surveillance and Reconnaissance Company, Task Group Taji, Rotation 5, in Iraq on Operation Okra from May 2017 to December 2017. Major Reddy exhibited a distinct devotion to duty and superior understanding of the operating environment in the design and application of effects in support of Task Group Taji 5 and Coalition and Iraqi Security Force partners. He enabled the protection of the task group and the provision of intelligence support to operations in the Baghdad area. Major Reddy's achievements were vital to the success of the wider operations in Iraq. Major David Reddy awarded the Commendation for Distinguished Service.
Congratulations. Okay. So any military operation is only as good as the information that comes in, and both for the protection of the coalition troops who were in your bailiwick, but also the mentoring of the Iraqi army in the northern Baghdad operational area. You produce thousands of intelligence items and conducted 170 intelligence operations, enabling those Iraqi troops to withstand severe attacks from Daesh and actually to eradicate them to a large degree. So in terms of Australia helping Iraq to stand on their own 2 feet, you did a wonderful job. Well done. Congratulations.
And now to Conspicuous Service Decorations. Awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal, Lieutenant Commander George McKee, for meritorious devotion to duty as Planning Operations Officer in Combined Task Force 150 on Operation Manitow from November 2015 to April 2016. Commander McKee provided exceptional service as the Planning Officer for Combined Task Force 150 and Combined Maritime Forces, proving pivotal in constructing effective command rotations and influencing exercise objectives. His meritorious achievements embrace Navy's core values and signature behaviours, are of the highest order and in the finest traditions of the Royal Australian Navy and the Australian Defence Force. Lieutenant Commander George McKee awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal.
Good afternoon. Now, you were doing this planning in a coalition environment, and my notes told me 16 nations. Was it more than that, 16?
All up, I think we've got over 30 nations participating.
Were there 16 sort of quite actively involved?
Operations.
Yeah, and scores of ships, and all going in different directions. Herding cats would be a good simile.
Very
yeah.
close.
Yeah, and yet the RAN puts its highly qualified people into this international liaison and planning role, knowing they will stitch it together patiently and effectively. You did that, and you've allowed that operation to achieve synergies that people only dream about. Congratulations.
And now to the Meritorious Service Awards. Awarded the Public Service Medal, Mr Joseph Castellino, for outstanding public service in leading fiscal policy analysis and advice to the Prime Minister and Cabinet. Mr Castellino served in a highly demanding position of Head of the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet's Fiscal Policy Branch. He played a key role in the delivery of 6 most recent government budgets and mid-year economic and fiscal outlooks, and has led the preparation of vital budgetary advice to the Prime Minister since 2013. Mr Castellino exemplifies sound judgment, collegiality and commitment, and has earned the respect of successive Prime Ministers and other members of the Cabinet. Mr Joseph Castellino awarded the Public Service Medal.
Hello, how are you? Very good. Good to see you. I got you. Wait on, mate. Sorry. I'll hold you. I won't detain you long. This gentleman needs a bit of a hand here. I'll do that. Well, I wanted to say that he delivered 5 budgets to various governments, various Prime Ministers. So I think that deserves a medal anyway, but he's also been a key advisor to Prime Ministers and their senior executives about health and ageing issues, about Indigenous issues. He is now working as a senior within the Department of Human Services. a real professional. Today we say thank you. Well done.
Thank you.
You're right for doing that.
Awarded the Public Service Medal, Mr Jonathan Palmer, for outstanding public service as a Deputy Australian Statistician and through contributions to the international statistical community. Mr Palmer has been an outstanding leader at the Australian Bureau of Statistics and has made a profound impact on business improvements and through the effective leadership of a complex organisation. Of particular note was his management of a task force that designed and delivered the Australian Marriage Law Postal Survey. This challenging and highly contentious task relied on many different components being delivered to an impeccable standard. Mr Palmer has also been instrumental in mentoring a number of chief statisticians from our neighbouring Pacific nations. Mr Jonathan Palmer awarded the Public Service Medal.
Hello, Jonathan. How are you? Congratulations. I think when the government of the day announced that there was going to be this postal survey on the Australian marriage law matter, that everybody thought, oh yeah, well, and it was not only well done, it persuaded people that there was a comprehensive view, and the design and the undertaking and the delivery of that was a major effort. We thank you for the diligence of yourself and those of your colleagues. The other point that I wanted to highlight was that this gentleman is a senior mentor to statisticians around the Pacific, around our region, places where dollars applied must be spent in a very discriminating and effective way. That can only be done when people own the right information and it's produced in a way which persuades people making budgets. We thank you for that in particular. Congratulations.
Awarded the Public Service Medal, Mrs Glynis Stewart, for outstanding public service to education in the Australian Capital Territory. Mrs Stewart has been teaching for more than 40 years and in 2012 became one of the first teachers in Australia to be nationally certified at the lead career stage of the Australian Professional Standards for Teachers. Her expertise in data collection and interpretation has helped quantify the effect different interventions have on student learning. Mrs Stewart maintains her role as an extraordinary classroom teacher, whilst her work behind the scenes continues to help shape our understanding of how educators can best assist younger generations. Mrs Glynis Stewart awarded the Public Service Medal.
Thanks. That's an X marks the spot. There we go. Now this highly accomplished lead teacher, you don't do judo, no, that's right. This highly accomplished and lead teacher concept, to put it in context, 350,000 teachers in Australia, 473 only qualified with this accolade of HALT. And you are only one of only 174 teachers, or a number like that, in the whole of the Commonwealth who can teach at the highest level. You've been a wonderful role model, but you are now not only a brilliant innovator in teaching, but you lead years 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 teaching group at Everett Primary. Well done. Congratulations. Keep it up, please.
We now come to the Australian Bravery Decorations. These awards honour those who, without pause, have placed the safety and lives of others before their own. They have selflessly braved the most dangerous conditions, and we are a stronger and safer nation because of them. Nominations are considered by the Australian Bravery Decorations Council, who then make recommendations to the Governor-General. Awarded the Commendation for Brave Conduct, Dr David Brown. In the afternoon of 2nd of January 2013, Dr David Brown was involved in rescuing a man trapped in a burning car in Canberra in the Australian Capital Territory. Dr Brown was among the first to arrive at the scene of a collision between the driver of a stolen car and another motorist. The driver of a stolen car had sped through a give way sign and crashed into a Holden sedan before fleeing the scene on foot. The other motorist sustained leg injuries and was trapped inside their vehicle. At the same time, the grass surrounding their vehicle had caught fire. Ignoring the threat from a fire, Dr Brown arrived on the scene and began providing assistance to the trapped driver, while others tended to the flames with extinguishers and blankets. Dr Brown then remained by the trapped driver's side, supporting their neck and providing reassurance during firefighting operations and the subsequent extraction by firefighters. The driver was then transported to hospital in a critical condition. The young operator of the stolen car later turned himself in to the police. For his actions, Dr Brown is commended for brave conduct.
Good afternoon. Now come around and let them all get a good look at you. I don't do biographical notes for these moments where we recognise brave conduct, because it wouldn't matter whether the doctor was a woman, grandmother, came upon the scene, or a lad of 17 straight from Centrelink, I don't know, and came upon the scene. It's what they do at that moment which takes our breath away. We can imagine the scene. We've all unfortunately seen traffic accidents at some stage, maybe immediately afterwards, but the evidence of a traffic accident, and it always chills our blood. But if you were there on the spot, you are asked the question of yourself, what shall I do? No hesitation, straight in, looking to the man who was trapped to see that releasing him from being trapped and with the fire that was ensuing, obviously danger to the poor injured driver, but obviously danger also to the people who go in. And this action, I think, is one of the ways we do the end of our investitures, where we pause and wonder, what would I do? And we look at folks like you, we say, I hope I could do what you did on that occasion. You're a brave man. Well done.
Awarded the Bravery Medal, the late Mr James Yari McDonald and Mr John Jackie Morley, to be accepted by Miss Sonia Piper and Miss Rosalind Bowles. On the 25th and 26th of June 1852, Mr Morley and Mr McDonald rescued numerous residents who were trapped by floodwaters at Gundagai in New South Wales. The actions of these two Wiradjuri men during the Murrumbidgee's River major flood of 1852 are a proud feature of the history of the Riverina. Heavy rainfall throughout the region saw the waterway swell and burst its banks, inundating the riverside town of Gundagai and forcing its residents onto rooftops or into the trees. Despite fast-moving wintry floodwaters and continuing rain and sleet, the two men paddled a frail bark canoe back and forth, rescuing the locals one by one. Over 48 hours, they continued their dogged efforts while the town disappeared below the water. By the third day, the men had carried over 60 people, 1/3 of the town's population, to safe ground. Their courageous actions have etched a mark on the collective memory of the area, and today we celebrate that heroism as a nation. Ms Sonia Piper and Miss Rosalind Bowles accept the award of the Bravery Medal on their behalf.
This one. And turn it around so that that's showing, and turn it around like this. Thank you for accepting the award on behalf of your ancestors. Come out here a bit. Isn't this a turn up for the books? 1852. I like the idea, don't you all, that no brave act eventually recognised is unremarked. And here these two fellas who, over a period of time, during this awful flood, do you know the Murrumbidgee at the part where it was most dangerous, in the vicinity of where these rescues took place, was 1.6 kilometres wide, a mile in the old money, and at its deepest point, 6 metres, and flowing like billy-o. And out they went in their dugout canoes. I think the first gentleman went out in a small canoe and was doing individuals, and then when the joint effort started, they were in a bigger canoe and they were able to put more people in. We spoke about rescuing over 60. The number I saw was 68, but then the number of people who perished in that flood, over 80. So it was a horrible thing, and it took a special courage first to do it and then to go back and go back and go back. We are so delighted this has occurred, and we send to you and your relatives and to the community our very best wishes on the memory of two very brave men. Thank you, ladies.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the presentations this afternoon, and I now invite the Governor-General to speak.
Especially given the nature of the last presentation, it's appropriate for me to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet, the Ngunnawal people, and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and to elders from other communities who may be with us today. This investiture ceremony recognises those who, through great determination and commitment, have made an exceptional contribution to our nation. And as one of the greatest privileges of my role as Governor-General, to invest those being honoured, to meet you all and to learn more about your life and achievements, which is a process of the last several days going through these magnificent bios that you've sent in. To each of the recipients, I offer my deepest congratulations, admiration and respect. I, like everyone here, and the people who are your friends and relatives, those people where you live, we are impressed and inspired by what you do. And we're all reassured that our nation is in great hands and full of extraordinary people who go that extra mile. Not for personal gain or self-promotion, but for others and for Australia. We, as a nation, are fortunate to benefit from your passion and your skill and your dedication, and it is fitting that you've been recognised by our honours system. You now officially join the company of men and women whose actions have enriched our community and our lives. You remain, as you have been, and now even more so, role models for future generations. You'll show them what is possible. Your commitment to excellence and to your fellow citizens is something we revere and admire. And I have the best seat in the House for looking out to see the pride on the faces of family and friends who are here sharing the occasion. So, to you all, of course, those just invested, and all those here today who support them, and those who are watching online, I thank you all for your contribution. Remember, this is a day when Australia said, you are unique, you are exceptional. So congratulations and well done.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier, anyone can nominate a fellow Australian. It's easy to do by accessing our online nomination form on the Governor-General's website. You never know, they may even receive an award at a ceremony such as this one day in the future. I now invite today's recipients to join their Excellencies for photographs on the state entrance stairs and for guests to remain in here until their Excellencies and recipients have departed. Thank you very much and a good afternoon.